Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Danae Wolf. I'm a financial clarity coach and a profit strategist, which means I help entrepreneurs understand their numbers so that they can utilize that information to make operational improvements in their business and make more money. That is my whole goal, is for you to be as profitable as possible. Now, one of the questions that I get asked all the time, multiple times a week, is how do I use QuickBooks? You guys have tons of questions about it. It's certainly a hot topic around here. So I decided to do a multiple week training series fully dedicated to QBO. So last week was week 1, and we talked all about setting up QuickBooks Online and the ins and outs of how to do that. And you can find that in my videos. And today for week 2, we are focusing on the bank feeds. Now, the reason why the bank feeds are so important is because every transaction that comes into QBO comes in through the bank feeds. So the numbers that end up on your profit and loss statement, 99% of them, unless it's a situation where it was a personal transaction, some type of a journal entry, videos for another day, but 99% of them travel through the bank feeds. So it's really important that you guys have a firm understanding of the bank feeds. So what I've done is gone ahead and just set up a new QuickBooks account and connected a bank account to it. So you're going to see in real time kind of what happened. I already went through the steps of connecting the bank account, which I discussed in last week's video how to do that, but it's very easy. You just simply hit link account and then log into your bank account with your typical online banking username and password for whoever your bank is. So once you do that and you connect the account, this is the screen that is going to pop up. So I've just connected this bank account. And you can see that QuickBooks is offering for you to watch a video that will walk you through it. And it's also offering to give you a guided tour. So consider me your tour guide today, and we're going to get started. I'm going to maximize this screen so you guys can see things better. So I'm going to click out of this, and we are going to get started. You can see here that this bank account has 203 transactions that we have to get categorized. So let me explain what we're seeing here in the bank feed. So what is happening is our bank has synced up with QuickBooks, and QuickBooks is now pulling in the data. So what we can see is the date of the transaction. We can see the description. This is simply what the bank has in the memo. So if you were logged on to your business bank account, looking in your online banking, this is the same description you would see there. Then it has a payee. So this is, who the transaction was paid to. It'll make more sense when I click into one of these, but it's going to be blank, right? Because in the bank, all they have is the description. So QuickBooks doesn't have anything to feed in the payee right now. Then you see category or match. So this is really where I see a lot of people make a mistake. So what's happening right now is in this category or match, QuickBooks is trying to basically guess, make an educated guess as to what this transaction is for. So QuickBooks is reading this description and trying to assume that the category is sales, or it's looking at SiteGround and it's trying to guess that it's advertising and marketing. So where I see a lot of people make mistakes is they set up their bank and they make this connection and then they just start hitting add. And they're going off of this category or match that QuickBooks has assigned to it. And I just want to be very clear. This is a guess, okay? QuickBooks is a software. There's not a person sort of sitting behind this portal making this decision. So it's really important that you go through each transaction and make sure that the category is correct. So that brings us to this column, category or match. This is where you categorize the transaction. Now, if you remember last week, we talked all about customizing our chart of accounts. So just to do a very brief review on that, the chart of accounts, as I explained last week, is all of the names of the different categories from the bank feeds and how you want it to show up on your profit and loss. So, for example, I might have advertising and marketing, right? That's one of the options. So, perhaps I want to say I'm going to get a lot more micro with this, and I am going to create under advertising and marketing, I'm going to create a sub account that says Facebook ads. So now when we do a profit and loss statement, we are going to see a line item that says Facebook ads if we selected Facebook ads from this category. Then QuickBooks shows you whether it was spent or received, okay? So that's obviously, money going in or out of your bank account. Now, the other option here, instead of it saying add, is you can also be in a situation where you have to transfer the transaction. So this would be in a situation where you have more than one bank account set up. So right now, I just have one bank account set up, but let's say that you had spent money sending funds to your other business. Maybe it was your savings account, right? You would not use add. You would simply go here and hit transfer. Okay, so that's another mistake I see a lot. So again, with the common mistakes, people assuming that the category QuickBooks has assigned to it is correct, when in fact that's a guess and you should be assigning the category. And the other mistake is people transferring money from one bank account to another, but putting it in QuickBooks as categorized as an add when really it should be a record as a transfer. All right, so now we have all of these transactions, right? And for many of you, from what I hear from you, you're really behind in your QuickBooks bookkeeping. So what happens is you make that first step to connect your bank account, and now you can see in this example, there's 203 transactions, and you're like, oh boy, what am I going to do? So I want to show you how we can do this in the most efficient way. So the first thing that I want you to do is go to your description and you're going to click on it. What this is going to do is it's going to put everything into alphabetical order, which means that we can easily see what the vendors are, like what the description is, and we can see where the bulk of it is, okay? So let's take an example here of ConvertKit. So we can see here that there are a bunch of charges to ConvertKit. Now, ConvertKit is an email marketing software. So let's go back to our chart of accounts, and let's say that what we're going to do is we're going to create an expense under the advertising. I showed you an example of doing Facebook ads earlier. You can see that there. Let's do email marketing. Okay, so we're creating that account. And now we are going to come to the transaction in the bank feeds, and we are going to set the payee as ConvertKit because that is where we sent the money. We paid ConvertKit. We are going to choose that they are a vendor. It is already selected as vendor, and we are going to hit save. Now in category, we are going to select email marketing. Now I do just want to point out, I went into the chart of accounts to do that just now, but you can very conveniently hit add new, and this would have popped up, and it's the same exact screen from the chart of accounts. So you can do all of this right from within the bank feeds. So we are going to use our newly created account, email marketing. And then here is where the wonderful automations come in. We're going to go to create rule. You want to create a rule for anything that you use on a regular basis that is always the same category. So ConvertKit is charged every month, and it is always email marketing. So we are going to hit create rule. We are going to name this rule ConvertKit. We are going to say that this rule should be applied anytime there is money out in any of the bank accounts. And if the description says ConvertKit email, it's going to be categorized as an expense with the category as email marketing and the payee as ConvertKit. And then there is this fabulous button down here. Automatically confirm transactions that this rule applies to. This is an auto add. So I want you to see what happens when we do this. We're going to hit save. And now that transaction has totally disappeared because it went onto our profit and loss. Now, normally, all of them disappear. So let's go into rules and see sort of what happened there and why that did not go through. All right, so this is why. So when we set our rules, we want to just get the description to be just the name of the business, because when a charge is made, it does pull in dates and information for that specific day. And obviously, if this is an ongoing expense, it's going to happen on more than just one day. So you want to delete anything else except for the actual vendor name that will always be present. We're going to hit save, and now you can see 6 transactions were added. So with creating one rule, I've now dropped these transactions down to 196. So now let's see what else we can do that with. So let's find another vendor that has a lot of stuff here. So Hiscox Insurance. All right. So we know that this is insurance, and in this situation, we know that this is specifically liability insurance. So we are going to go to Hiscox as the payee. And we are then going, instead of just booking it as insurance, which, just to clarify, is 100% appropriate. You absolutely can do that. But if you want to get a bit more micro, so you can have more information when you look at your financials, we are going to create a sub-account of insurance, and we are going to make it liability. This way you can easily see what was liability and what was workers' comp. So now we're going to go to create rule. It's going to be set to Hiscox. We are going to add that in. That's the name of the rule. It says whenever money comes out from all bank accounts, it has to have the description of Hiscox. It's going to be set to liability insurance. Here's our payee set. We've got our auto add box set, and let's see if this works. It just took out 8 transactions, okay? So let's see what else. All right, liberated syndication. There are a bunch of these. And this is a software. So we are going to go to create rule. Type in the vendor name. Make sure that there is nothing else at the end of this description. Hit save. And now 8 transactions. So you can see that by sorting it by description, you are able to create a rule and get rid of transactions in very, very short amount of time, because you can set one rule and take a bunch of them. So that is the big thing that I wanted to make sure you guys knew about the bank feeds, because it doesn't need to be that overwhelming when you see you have hundreds of transactions. Just simply sort by description and then be sure to use the rules and click the box for auto add. Now, let's say we have a situation where you're saying, well, I can't really make a blanket rule. I spend, sometimes it's office supplies and sometimes it is a marketing expense, right? Now, in that situation, remember, the IRS does not care, right? If you said Amazon was an office supply versus if you said it was a marketing expense, as long as it is a business expense and you have proof, that is all the IRS cares about. So the categories are really for you and your own analysis. So let's say in this situation, that anything, let's find another big vendor. Let's say anything that comes from Verizon, right? So let's say that my Verizon phone bill is going to be 50% business and, maybe we're going to say it's 50% personal. So I want to show you how you can handle situations like that. So let's create vendor of Verizon. And we are going to do, there should be a telephone in here. Okay, there isn't. So let's create an expense of telephone. And let's make sure we have a personal expense. Yep, we do. Okay, so now we are going to go to create rule. And this is a really great feature. We are going to do right here, it says add split. Now you can add a split in two ways. You can either do the exact dollar amount. So maybe I want to say $50 a month goes to telephone, $100 a month goes to a personal expense, or maybe I want to do a percentage. So in this situation, I'm going to do a percentage. I'm going to say that my cell phone is used 50% for the business and 50% for personal. So I am going to select the telephone business expense for 50%, and then the personal owner's pay and personal expense for the other 50%. And then we are going to make sure it is set to auto add, and we are going to hit save. And now 5 transactions have been added. So we are in really great shape for that. And we have a little visitor. My son just barged in the room. Sorry about that. Hi, honey. Hi, Mommy's almost done, okay? Mommy's almost done. Okay, so now let's do another example here because I really want you guys to get the feel for the split. So let's use one where we do it with the denomination as opposed to the percentage. So we are going to go to Wave. We're going to make our vendor, and then we are going to do create rule. And we've got it set. So you can see at the end here, it's got a bunch of information, some numbers. We're going to delete all of that so that it just shows Wave. And I'm going to add a split, hi honey, to say that we are going to do it by amount. We're going to say that $5 goes to our, let's see, what do I want to pick here? We're going to do $5 is, we'll just say telephone. Again, this is totally me just making all of this up. And $5 is marketing. And then, oh, honey, oh, I love you. I'm almost done. Sorry, my 2-year-old literally just came in here. He's actually never done that when I was filming before. So sorry about that. But hashtag mom life. So, okay, we are now going to add the other $5 to marketing, and we are going to make sure the auto ad is set. And we are now telling QuickBooks to always split this expense, $5 to phone, $5 to marketing. And now the transactions have been added. So it's a really great feature to be able to use those automatic rules. It's just really going to make your life a lot easier. Now, I do want to show you the example of transfers. Now, since I don't actually have a bank account connected, we're just going to make a fake bank account. Let's just call this savings, and I will show you guys how this works. So we are going to go to, let's see, go into our bank feeds, and I am just going to make this up. I'm going to say that this $550 that was received, I'm going to say it was a record transfer. And I'm going to say that it was from that savings account that I just made up, right? That fake savings account. So all you would do if in reality this was in fact a transfer between your 2 business accounts, you are just going to hit record transfer and then type in what the other bank account was. There's our WF savings, and we're going to hit boop, record, transfer. So that's how you would handle it if it was, going between bank accounts. So again, we're going to remember that our expenses are an add, our deposits are an add, but if it is a transfer between your business checking account and your business savings account, that is connected in QuickBooks, okay? They would have to be connected in QuickBooks, or maybe even it could be your payment to your business credit card, and you've got your business credit card connected into the bank feeds. Whenever we are traveling between two specific QuickBooks accounts, we are going to use that transfer. And again, you just click in here and you just set it to record. So those are the main things to know about the bank feeds. And I just want to show you how it then works on your profit and loss statement. So if we head over to our reports, we are going to select the profit and loss. And we've only done a handful of transactions, but I just want you to see how they kind of came to life on our financial report. So you can see that the email marketing we did is coming in at $203. We have another advertising coming in for $35. And we have a liability insurance for $1,110. The office, the software, and the telephone. So let's click into these transactions. You can see email marketing. It's all those ConvertKit transactions. You can see that when we go into our advertising, it's all of those Wave transactions, the $5 that we hit split payment on. So everything that we categorized in the bank feeds, those are the words that are showing up on your profit and loss statement. So we created an account that said telephone. That's why it says telephone on the profit and loss. So we could do, let's literally just to give you guys, really a very specific view as to how this works. We are going to make a thing that literally just says, let's say cupcakes, which would not be a business expense, but I just want to kind of show you guys how this works. So now we're going to go into our bank feed and let's grab an expense. Let's say right here, this is going to be cupcakes. I'm going to set our vendor name and take a look here. Cupcakes. Now we go to our profit and loss statement. You go over here to the left to reports, and we are going to pull that profit and loss for the year. And guess what we see? Cupcakes. So it's really a great feature for you guys to know and utilize is customizing that chart of accounts and understanding that whatever you put in this chart of accounts then becomes available in here. It becomes available in your bank feeds for you to go through and select those accounts. And that's really how you then are able to customize those profit and loss statements to make sure that you're showing the numbers in a way that works for you, right? So you do not need to use the bank rules, right? So maybe it's something that you're like, well, I don't really use that a lot, right? So I don't need a rule. So maybe something like GoDaddy, where they're just going to charge you, once a year. Maybe you're just like, I'm not going to make a rule. So you're just going to go here. Let's do website expense. We don't have an account, so we're going to go add. We're going to say that this is an expense. This is other business expense, and we're just going to say it is a website expense. We're going to go ahead and hit save. And now all you do, because you don't want to create the rule, all you're going to do is you're going to hit add. Now, the next thing to point out is what if you want to do a split from within the bank feeds? You're not going to actually have a rule. You're going to have the payee set, and you're just going to go right here next to add. It says split. And it gives you the same exact opportunity as you had in the bank rules, where we can either, let's see if we just want to say this is going to be, I don't know, website. The other one is going to be marketing. Totally just making this stuff up. But let's just say, we're going to go ahead and split this, and we're going to put I don't know, $20 of it there, and we're going to put $8.16 the balance there, and then we're going to do apply and accept. So it's really a great feature to be able to use that split if necessary. Something I see quite often is people will say, yeah, I went to, say, Target or something like that. So let's use this Overstock as an example. And maybe they say, listen, I checked out with my, business credit card, but, $100 of it was actually personal. So again, you would just go to split. You would put in, let's do an example of $400 is software. Then we're going to say personal. It was $58.57. And that's how you can easily make sure that you are splitting the expense so that you can make sure that everything is allocated properly. So that is really the ins and outs of the bank feeds. I think just utilizing, by setting it the description so that you can see all of your vendors all in a row, and then utilizing the rules with the auto add button. I mean, you can get rid of 20 transactions by the click of one button. So it's a really great feature. I think that if you guys use it, you are going to find that you can really automate so much of your bookkeeping. And if we automate it, then we don't have the worry of it constantly falling behind, right? So my goal is to make sure that we make it as easy for you as possible, because I want you to actually do it, right? I want to make sure that it gets done, because I believe so strongly that bookkeeping, basic bookkeeping, tracking your numbers is how we ensure profitability, right? We have to know what's going on. And you can see that you can easily determine what the names of the accounts are. You can categorize it right from your bank feeds, and then that is what goes onto your profit and loss. So finally, you can understand your profit and loss. I think there is just that aha moment when you're able to take something from the bank feeds, categorize it, and then pull a profit and loss and say, that's how it appeared. That's how it shows up. And it just really, that connection, for me at least, I know when I was learning everything that had to do with accounting, that connection for me was really powerful. And it was definitely a light bulb moment to see, I move it from the bank feeds, and whatever I say in the bank feeds is how it presents on my profit and loss and financial reporting. So if you guys have any questions, you can drop them here in YouTube. You can drop them here in the Facebook group, and I will be sure to get right back to you as soon as possible. And I hope you enjoyed this video and you have an awesome rest of your day. And sorry for the 2-year-old interruption. I realized you guys actually couldn't see him because I was on the full screen mode. I thought you could see him. So next time he barges in, I'm going to have to flip the camera because he's actually super, super cute. All right, we will talk soon. Bye.